Heyo everybody, Haku here with this week's Tower of God video, and it's going to be a theory of mine, just trying to start a discussion because I don't see it often discussed, where Shinsoo comes from or what it is, why the tower was built, any of the sort of big overarching universal questions for the series. I don't see discussed that very often. And a lot of that is because it is way too early in the series, I feel, to be asking stuff like that. We still have a long way to go, and we probably won't find out for a long time. But I still think it's nice to start an early discussion and see what we all think about it. So I'm going to give my thoughts, my theory on what Shinsoo is and where it came from. Now, some quick basic information on Shinsoo. Shinsoo means God Water, and we know a lot about it from the writings of Ashul Edwaru and the research of Pobidao Gustang. And they both say that Shinsoo is produced by the tower naturally within the tower. The way they find that out is that even if you completely seal off a room airtight and pull all the Shinsoo out of it, more Shinsoo will just get in there somehow. It doesn't leak in, it's just produced within the tower naturally. It just exists there. Shinsoo is used by all life forms in the tower to carry on life functions like air would be for us in our conventional living in real life. So it takes the function of air in the body, but when compressed it becomes a liquid. So it has a lot of things that distinguish it from air, including that while air has a certain way that physics says it flows, but Shinsoo isn't like that. Shinsoo flows in a way that we have no sort of physics or anything like that can explain it thus far. So it's sort of like a mix, but it's a mix between mysterious fantasy substance, air, and water. It has a very strange property like that, because as it becomes more and more condensed, it becomes a liquid in higher densities. Now, my theory is that Shinsoo is produced by a person or an artifact at the very top of the tower. Now, this would explain to me why the Shinsoo is denser at higher floors and less dense at lower floors, because it's coming out from whatever the source at the top of the tower is. Now, this source could be a person or an artifact. I'm going to say that I think it may be an axis, like what Phantominium is, a person who has the power to write the story of existence. They can say what is, and whatever they say will be. Or it could be an artifact left behind that gives somebody an axis's power. Who knows? And either the tower could be built and created by whoever is at the top, or whatever is at the top, or who or whatever built the tower were building it for that person. That could be the god of the story that Tower of God is named for. Or maybe the people built it and left the person there or something, and they're imprisoned at the top. There are a lot of options, but I think Shinsoo, what it's coming from is a person or an object at the very top, way past the 135th floor at wherever the tower really ends. Now, this would also help us explain the sort of slogan, whatever you want, it is in here. It is at the top of the tower. What the first prologue chapter said, what Head-On said, everything you want is at the top. And that would make me think even more that it's either an axis or an artifact that gives a person an axis's power or turns someone into an axis, because an axis being the one who can write the story of existence, whatever somebody asked them for upon reaching the top, or if someone became an axis, they could ask for whatever, and the axis could make whatever they wanted be. Like whatever they wanted to happen, whatever they wanted to exist, the axis could just bring that into existence and make it reality. So I think that would explain how anything you want could be at the top, because an axis can make anything happen. And since the Axis is the artifact that has an Axis's power is the source of Shinsoo in the tower, because Shinsoo doesn't exist outside of the tower, it would make sense to me that means, like we've said, because without this being true, Phantominium is a character that can't really be used very well because he's immortal. No matter how strong anyone in the series ever was, they could not stand against Phantominium because he's an Axis and therefore could just will whatever he wanted to happen. But using Shinsoo, which is an extension of an Axis's power, could allow somebody to defeat or even kill Phantominium. Because nobody produces Shinsoo. The power of Shinsoo or whatever does not come within a person in the tower. Their power is the power to control and to manipulate the Shinsoo within themselves and in their surroundings. And even for some people, like we've seen Bam, Muntari, and Ha Jinsung, to even manipulate the Shinsoo within other people. Or, of course, manipulate the Shinsoo like a lot of people can do within items. So this means that everyone in the tower is using a piece of Axis's power because the Axis is the source of all of Shinsoo. Sorry if that was a little bit redundant, because I feel as though I've already explained that, but I was trying to say it in a sort of simple conclusion type way. But I think that that's about it. Those are really my thoughts. Of course, I didn't go totally in depth with everything Shinsoo can do, like being any element or light or darkness or the void itself, because it can't exist in a vacuum. That I just I didn't want to overload it with just information. I wanted it to be the theory of where Shinsoo came from, and I think it came from whatever's waiting for us at the top, whether it's a person or an object. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys think, where you guys think Shinsoo might come from, what you might think it really is. Of course, I said it. I think it is an Axis's power or an extension of that power. And we know that Axises like Phantominium each have their different specific power. So this Axis or Axis object, its specific power could be the creation of Shinsoo. And Shinsoo can do a lot of stuff, and Ryu can even create life with it, or at least the rumor goes. And like I said, it could be any element. So it's one of those things where we've found out a little, and there's still a lot to learn. So definitely put your theories down there and tell me what you think, because I'm really, really curious to see what everybody else thinks of this discussion. I want to say thank you for sticking through it. Like if you did like the video. Definitely comment your ideas down there. Tell me what you thought of my ideas. Subscribe for more Tower of God, One Piece, The Walking Dead, and a bunch more. I will be having videos next Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, hopefully. And of course this Saturday. All hopefully. And then after that, we'll be back to our normal schedule when we get done with this hiatus. And I will be very, very glad. Because I'm sure you all feel it. It's draining not having Tower of God every week. So yeah, thank you all so very much. Follow on Twitter as well if you want to. And I will see you all next time.